Well, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Three Crones in the Woo Woo. I promise you, sooner or later, the third crone will arrive today. That is Miss Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healings with Krista on Facebook. To my side at the moment is Miss Damaris Samolinski with Ask the Genie with Damaris Samolinski. And for those of you who don't know me, I can't imagine anybody who's here who doesn't. Um, my name is Gayle Nicholson, and I am a metaphysical practitioner, whether I can say it or not, with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. So Chris was having a little bit of problems with her microphone speaker system. I think it doesn't want to get back to work after the holidays. I don't think any of us do, really. But it is after the 8th. It's now the 10th of January. And we are hitting 2023 hard. How are things going on where you're at, Damaris?
They're pretty good. I'm still kind of like overcoming this cold flu that I had. I still have a little bit of it left over, I think. But I'm feeling better every day. I'm doing like a sabbatical, so to speak. So I'm just like meditating and reading and journaling while I get rid of this purge,
Awesome. Well, hello, Hair Bear, and everybody else out there that's joined us. Thanks so much for spending some time with us today. Along those ends, my dear, and along the goals that you mentioned earlier, before the turn of the year, I found this little book and I decided to buy it. I've never seen anything like it before. It's never been out there and so on.
Awesome.
It's the Witch's Date book, 2023. So I'm looking through it. It's got all kinds of really cool stuff in here. But the very beginning of it, it talks about witches flying and how they do that through astral projection.
Yes. I love it.
So it's got a recipe in here for beginner's flying ointment.
I love it, Gayle.
It's got a number of different essential oils to it and so on.
I love it.
So I'm going to send you the gist of it here so you can cook some of that up for yourself. I know that you do oils.
I want to manifest that.
Excellent
Yes.
stuff.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it. And the other thing that I'm really excited about is the fact that Mars has gone.
Tomorrow, the 12th is going direct. That's exactly what I'm going to talk about today.
Excellent, because that has been confusing for me the whole time. First of all, Mercury retrograde is back again.
I know. Actually, I'll tell you guys, when I do my segment. But yeah.
So I mean, we're all pretty familiar with what Mercury retrograde ends up dropping in our laps. Miscommunications, problems with electronics and technology. That kind of thing. And we, the Three Crones, have often told the audience different ways that you can actually make that work to your advantage, right? But I think a lot of us are way less clear on what exactly Mars retrograde is, because normally we think of Mars and Aries as the god of war and aggression and action and all of that, and it's like Mars retrograde was not all roses and rainbows and love and light.
It's also learning how to work with your aggression,
Okay.
Because we can all be aggressive. We can all, be out of line or say things, without really, thinking about it first. Because Mars, Aries energy, they just speak without thinking. They think afterwards, so to speak. So, it's like being very blunt. And sometimes some people can't take that bluntness. Like you can tell somebody, be blunt with someone and they can get very offended. They may not be able to handle it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's about us learning how to be, assertive and not aggressive.
Well, isn't that interesting that it's happening right around the same time as Prince Harry's book's coming out? Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of a lot of talk around that for the next couple of days. I'm almost already tired of my Google feed that, Prince Harry this, Prince Harry that. And it's like, okay, let me read the book. Just shut up and get out of my face for a while.
I don't really follow the royals, but I know that you like them. You like the queens and stuff like that. I don't really follow them, but it's definitely, a lot of the times we think that we have to scream or yell to be heard, or to get our point across. And that really just creates more arguments and more fights. So that Mars retrograde is really to learn how to express ourselves assertively without having to scream, and be aggressive about it, because that doesn't get us anywhere anyway.
Yeah, agreed. The days where might makes right have passed.
Yes.
We're way beyond that now. All right, my dear. Well, let's talk a little bit about your segment and get this going. Hopefully, cross our fingers that by the time you're done, Miss Krista will be joining us again.
Yes, definitely. All right. So I'm going to talk about Mars, going direct on the 12th, but I'm going to take it back a little further first. So Mars went retrograde on October 29th. That's when it started its retrograde phase in the sign of Gemini. It's going to stay in the sign of Gemini until April, until like the equinox, the spring equinox. It will stay in the sign of Gemini. It brought themes of communication. It brought themes of media, whether it's social media, any type of media, right? It brought themes of education, travel, transportation. When I think of those two right there, I think of, and I don't know if, anybody has read about it or seen it, but there was pilots that were on strike a few months, maybe a few weeks ago. So that's right there, energy of that. Okay. Also, when you think of, transportation delays, I know for Christmas there was a lot of delays with flights.
Oh God, Southwest is going to be strung up like a hangman on the napkin it was created on.
Yes. So all of that energy is Mars retrograde in Gemini. It's amazing how the planets are showing us everything that's going on, but most people don't look at the planets to understand what's going on. I happen to look at that first and then I get it, right? It also has to do with neighbors. It has to do with relatives. It has to do with planning for future goals, right? Okay. So the retrograde in Mars and retrograde in Gemini was supposed to help us with all of those themes that I just, spoke about. So, for example, if you need to express yourself to a neighbor or a relative, you need to find the ways in which you can be more assertive, where it's almost like right to the point in a way where, you have less sort of like conflict in a way, right? Because again,
I want to break in and talk about that a little bit, because not always do we understand the difference between aggression and assertiveness, right?
Yes.
Aggression is attached to being right. Like you need to see my point of view, right? There's an attachment to there that you're very committed to making sure that they align with your commitment, right?
Yeah.
Assertiveness, and a lot of times when women first start becoming more assertive, they're seen as aggressive because before that they are so non-dominant, right? Yeah. I don't necessarily want to say submissive, but non-dominant.
Yes.
Okay? So when we start being assertive has no attachments. It's like, this is what's true for me, whether you believe it or not, whether you like it or not. And I'm going to stand for my needs.
Yes.
Now, you can react in any way that you feel fit, but that's really not going to affect my needs or my commitment to having my needs met.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Also, like when we're aggressive, women or men, we feel other people feel like we're dominant or like domineering or controlling.
Yeah.
And that's not a good energy. When I have come across people that are like that, with that type of energy, I withdraw because I don't like that. I don't want to feel less than or more than. I want to be equal. And when
Yeah.
someone tries to be dominant or controlling or domineering, I just retreat. I don't really like it.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say about Mercury, now Gemini is ruled by Mercury, right? So when a planet is in retrograde in a sign, it also kind of distorts the sign. So if you think about it, in a sense, Mercury has been in retrograde since October 29th.
Okay.
With Mars went in there in retrograde. Now,
Wait. Mercury?
Okay, so Gemini is ruled by Mercury.
Okay.
And
so
Mars
we've been getting like
retrograde.
echoes of Mercury retrograde because of Mars retrograde in Gemini, which is the house that Mercury rules.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So in essence, we kind of have been in retrograde, Mercury retrograde, since October 29th. So, I mean, if you think about it, we've been 9 to 10 weeks in this retrograde, since October 29th. And so it has been giving us the time to sort of like work on ourselves. Like I said to you guys before, in a way that we can, again, express ourselves and communicate in a way that's assertive and that it's right to the point, and that, there's no beating around the bush. Because that comes also across as non-confident, like we're not confident with ourselves. So it's really working on those things, especially when it comes to relatives, the holidays, right? We had the holidays, this energy. After COVID, not a lot of people get together like we used to before, but still people get together and they have communication. So they have, strong opinions sometimes that can cause arguments and things like that. But also, like I was saying before, with like the travel, I also think of, and transportation, I also think of the border, right? We've had all these migrants coming through the border, traveling through the border and migrating here. So all that energy is Mars retrograde in Gemini. And so I just want to point out that, the planets are telling us what's going on, right? I want to add a little bit of the medical astrology so that you guys can understand a little bit more about that, because I really never really talk about the medical astrology. When we think of Mercury is ruled by the throat chakra. Mercury rules the throat chakra, and the throat chakra rules the thyroid. Now, the thyroid is a gland that is responsible for our metabolism, and it also secretes certain hormones that have to do with turning the food that we eat into energy. So if we're not eating right, if we're not eating good food, like whole food, we're not going to have a lot of energy. And so also that has to do with that. When we don't have a lot of energy, we don't feel right, we can't really express ourselves. We can't really say how we feel. It's almost like distorted. So all of that, the Mercury energy affects the thyroid, which affects the hormones, certain hormones, and your metabolism as well. So all of that is connected, is really what I want to say. And I don't know if you guys have anything to say before I go on to the number.
Well, other than the fact that I've packed on enough weight that I had to buy new pants.
Awesome. I mean, we can either gain or lose, right? With the thyroid.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. And I've always had an underperforming thyroid. I mean, it's funny, as an adult, I went to this new doctor, a naturopath, and he's like, have you had, like thyroid issues, glandular issues in your life? And I looked at him and I said, I am 4'8" tall. You think?
Definitely.
What happened to my pituitary spurt?
So what I really want to say also is, like, when we don't work on those things, those themes that we spoke about, expression, in the right form, it's gonna affect our thyroid. And then once the problem is in the physical body, then we always go to the doctor, get medication, or go through a process. But if we only were able to understand that if we expressed ourselves in the proper way, if we were assertive and said what we meant and meant what we said, and saying, no when we need to say no, because a lot of the times we say yes when we really mean to say no. And then we kind of like swallow all that, have resentment and have anger. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said yes. Now I have to do this, X, Y, and Z. So all those things ultimately will cause you to have thyroid problems.
Yes. Yes, they will.
I'm so glad you're here, Krista. How are you doing?
Yes.
It's been a challenge. I think I may have figured it out. I think I'm not sure. I couldn't get my computer to connect to my microphone or my speakers, so I went, as you guys saw, I grabbed my headset, or maybe you didn't see. So I couldn't hear you. Yes, I couldn't hear you, but you could hear me as long as I was wearing this. So I'm not exactly sure. So now I'm on the phone.
That's good. It's Mercury retrograde, by the way.
Right.
I'm just rolling.
Messes with communication. All sorts of communication. But I'm going to jump over to the number, and then I'm going to give it to you, Krista. So the number 9, I love the number 9. Is a humanitarian number. It's, the number of service, awareness, knowledge, and wisdom. It's, if you want to be a humanitarian, I always say to people, you have to heal yourself first before you can go healing other people. A lot of us, because we want to be of service, we want to help other people before we help ourselves. So we put others before us, and it doesn't work like that. We really have to. They say that the first contribution that you're going to make is your own healing. Once we make our, we go within and we heal ourselves, that is the first contribution to the planet that we're giving. And then the second contribution would be to be of service to others. But we have to do the self first, not the other way around. A lot of people, and I don't know if you guys relate to this, a lot of people think that when they help other people, they think that they're earning some kind of merit. And with God, or, and it's not, it doesn't work like that. We really have to help ourselves. We're not here to save anybody. We're here to save ourselves. And then we can share that with other people. We can share that knowledge, that wisdom with others. The number 9 has the vibration of understanding, of humility, of love, of compassion. It has the energy of, again, being of service to others, being a light. And so, yes, definitely, Allison. And that's really what it is. But I've seen a lot of people through my life thinking that, they have to help other people. I have to help my family first. I have to help my kids first. Yeah, we have to do those things, but we have to help ourselves first. Otherwise, we're really going to become resentful and angry after when it's not reciprocated. And so, so in order not to, be resentful and angry, which will cause disease and illness within ourselves, it's better for us to take care of the self first and then of others. So that 9 energy is really to take care of the self first and then become the humanitarian.
Nice. Very cool.
And I'm giving it over to you, Krista.
Awesome.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry I'm late to the party today.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, we are very glad to hear that you're here, and that we're all 3 together again for the first time in almost a
3
month.
weeks.
Yeah, it's been very strange. It's been very strange. I mean, no, go ahead, Krista. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it has been strange. I mean, I got to watch you guys last week, and you were beautiful. And Gayle,
the video was awesome too.
I love your new background. I just think it's fabulous. It's very you. And so, I got to sit and enjoy and watch you guys. But I was like, nope. Not participating. And the restaurant, because we happened to be in a restaurant at the time, and the restaurant, they all enjoyed watching you, not hearing, but our server's like, what are you watching? I'm like, it's the podcast I'm supposed to be. I'm on. That's my podcast. But I'm hearing stuff.
The video worked great, though. It was great.
It did.
Yeah.
And I love how it like popped up right between us. It was really great.
It really was. I was very happy to see that actually worked. Should this happen again, then we can be like, okay, here's a video. I did my video.
Right?
Yeah,
and we can literally phone it in.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was so good. I really loved that. That was awesome. So, so it forced us to use or try something new, which was really good. So yeah, that was lovely. And so I enjoyed doing that. And then it was right before we left. I got
Yes, awesome.
I am so excited about those.
These are so fabulous. I only have the crystal of the week here in front of me, but for anybody, these are 5 by 7, and Gregory took the ones for our Patreon members and for you guys back stateside. So I need to get Mama Crone to help me out, or my sister or my dad, or even Greg, whoever it is, to get them out. I put addresses on the majority. There are a couple I need, a couple more addresses. And then I did sell one set as well to Joanne.
Oh, nice.
Joanne bought a set, and so hers is on the way as well. So Gregory brought them. So the reason why I had Gregory bring them stateside is so that it didn't have to go through customs, and it just was fast.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, these are the ones I can get in the mail and get out to people right now.
Definitely.
Phenomenal. I'm excited.
But I'll tell you, they look amazing. So let's see. I don't know if I can turn I can't turn my camera around, or else I would show you, because I have mine on my refrigerator, and they actually look really good, and they look really nice side by side. And I was like, you know what? These are pretty darn cool. And Kevin and Jen, got excited about them, and so did Greg. I mean, and I opened them at the post office because Reginald, he watches us, but not always live. And he works at the post office, so I opened them so he could see him first.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, if we had them in hand, we would all know that this week's crystal is ruby. So why don't you tell us? Sweet.
I love that music.
Yeah.
It's such beautiful.
We need it.
We do. So ruby, again, I can't make this shit up. It is another perfect stone, because what I was getting from Damaris is one of the things that we need is we need our own connection, and we need grounding. And ruby really it's a really great stone because it works directly with our root chakra. And remember, our root chakra is home. It's where our safety is. It's where our security is. It's where we feel best and most comfortable. Now, granted, we also see ruby as a stone that connects with the heart, which of course is love, compassion, healing, acceptance. But ultimately, it really is one that connects with when it shows up, it is helping us connect, or want to connect, reminding us to connect to what our own spiritual path is. And when I say by spiritual path, I am not talking religion. I am not talking, yes, you go to church on Sunday or Friday, whichever, no, it has zero to do with that. I'm talking about us wanting, or, connecting to what it is that's our journey. Right. And to really give ourselves that permission to connect to it. And, Damaris was talking about our throat chakra and how it's governed by Mercury. And, if you're not speaking your truth, or if you're running around working on people pleasing, that's not your path. I mean, there are some people who that is their path. But for the most part, a lot of people, that makes them feel really uncomfortable, and they go into a state of as Damaris was saying, resentment, because they're resenting the fact that they're putting everyone else's thoughts, everyone else's paths, everyone else's needs ahead of them. And, the ruby is here to help us connect, but not just to remind us to do that, but to ground us in that connection. Anytime a stone is working with the root chakra, it is trying to ground us. It is trying to help us remember to be center. And remember where the root chakra is. It's right down there, guys, where that perineum is. You can't, on the torso, you can't get any lower than that.
It's funny, as you're saying, it just reminds me also that the throat chakra is also connected and related to the law of attraction, because it is through the voice, through the sound, that we need to voice out what we want to attract. So that Mercury energy in the throat chakra is related to the law of attraction. And so it's important that we get that clear.
Yes. And if your root isn't clear, your throat isn't going to be clear either, folks. Just saying. Because if you're not grounded in who you are and who you want to be and the path you're trying to go, then it's hard for it's hard for the expression to come out.
Yeah. And also hard for you to manifest. I mean, if we're in a negative place and you're putting out manifestations, what are you really going to manifest?
Oh, exactly. Because your energy goes where the energy flows.
Exactly.
And so if you're not talking your truth, then it's just in thinking it. So the trick is it's not just speaking it. It's making sure that your mental thoughts and your vocal words and your energetic vibration is completely in alignment.
And also eating right, because as I said to you guys before, if we're not, the hormones that are secreted through the thyroid, if we're eating right, it can't convert that food into energy. If we're eating junk, it's going to give us junk energy, so to speak. There's going to be no energy to do anything.
Right. Exactly. So when you're looking or thinking of the process that you're going through, ruby can be a really great stone to work with, and it's a great protection stone to add in another part of what it's good for. It's a great protection stone, especially if you're feeling ungrounded or less in the centered. That's the best word to use. So it's a really great one. I mean, it does many other things, and a ruby is a great, and of course it's a semi-precious stone, so it's made into jewelry quite frequently. So
would it also be a blood purifier, being that it's red?
I mean, I guess it could be, but I wouldn't use it solely as a blood purifier. There are other stones that are better for that, bloodstone being one of them. Right. And of course, hematite being another, because remember, our blood has iron in it.
Yes.
Our blood isn't red as it goes through the veins. Our blood is blue. It's the oxygen that makes it red.
Yep. Very good.
So I wouldn't use that one as a blood purifier, but that's a great question. Yeah. That
was a great answer that you gave us.
There you have it. Any other thoughts on, or any of you guys have thoughts on rubies, or have you ever worked with rubies, either wearing them in your jewelry? You, Gayle, don't you have a ruby? You have a ruby ring.
I have a couple of rubies actually. Here's one that I really liked this week.
Beautiful.
That
So
is a
beautiful.
gorgeous ruby.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It really.
It's probably a Mars stone too, right?
You know, I'd have to look up what planet it's
What
connected
planet
to.
it relates to?
Yeah, I didn't look that up.
No.
It'd be
I didn't
interesting
look.
to know.
I'm
We were
looking
talking about Mars today.
Yeah, I am looking. It could actually be. That would be kind of amusing. Ruby.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have my resource books within reach at the moment myself.
Yeah, and so I can go ruby gemstones planet. It says the planet is Sun and the zodiac is Leo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I mean your logic in terms of, because it's red, but I'm looking, that's through astrology, Astro Yogi.
Okay.
Is talking that. I'm looking to see, because I have a couple of people that I really say, I feel like that when they say it, it's like, yeah, I can get that. I wrap my head around it better.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're not popping up at the moment. But it looks like that it's Sun the planet is Sun is the overall consensus.
Sometimes they have a co-ruler also. Sometimes, they have two planets that rule a certain specific, crystal.
Yeah. I'm looking to see if this one has a double, because she works in a variety of different things. But yeah, I'll see. You know what? I'll give a look and see if I'll dive a little deeper, because that would be curious to see if it is Mars, right? You said
Mars, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. No. Okay. So according to this, the gemstones of Mars, if you'd like to know that, I'm looking it up, is red coral is what is considered Mars.
Okay.
Is overall red coral.
Okay.
So it is a red stone. It's just not a ruby.
Yeah. Right. That's okay. I was just curious.
Yeah. And if you've ever stepped on a piece of coral, you know how aggressive and painful it can be.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And and when you're diving, if you scrape your arm on coral, it's not fun.
Yeah, that would be Mars. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, I long ago when I was diving, I got scraped. I went up a coral wall and I got caught and got a little scrape, and I'll tell you that took forever to to heal.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So I can see that being Mars energy, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Ms. Krista, would you give us an update on what's going on over there on the Patreon side?
So yeah, we have we've been uploading things from Damaris. This upcoming Monday, we will be doing our Moon and Woo at 9 a.m. on the East Coast time of the U.S., and that makes it 3 p.m. for me. And because we'll be going into our new moon, which is going to be Aquarian, the new moon Aquarius. And so, yeah, we'll be doing that this Monday. I just sent for our Patreon members, all our Patreon members are getting this gifted to them. Plus, there's a little treat.
That's wonderful. That's a great gift.
Yes, you have to thank Mr. Kevin for that.
Ah, thank you, Kevin.
Kevin's like, we need to just do this. And I said, okay.
He's such a good sport.
And there's a little something in those envelopes that will be going. Plus, those who actually purchase these from me, you guys are going to be getting something via your email.
And you do
as
such
well.
great little gifts. Like you know, I love getting stuff from you because it's like, oh my God, what am I going to find in here? You know, it's like the mystery box.
You know, I would love to do. I could have a lot of fun making mystery
Why don't
boxes
we do
for
that?
people. Oh, well, I have something that I want to propose, but not right now online for the three of us, because I found something and I'm like, oh, you know what? This would make our life so much easier.
So let's chat about that.
We'll chat about that after screen time.
Yes.
Screen.
All right, Gayle.
Oh, yes, that'll be awesome. But yeah, so Patreon, I invite everybody. If you are not a member, please come. We're getting now that it's been quite interesting with the technology and for all of us, and you know, being well, being unwell. But yeah, we love to go and play with you all and share more with you. So that's what we're doing.
Awesome stuff. I am excited about where we're going with Patreon going forward as well. And the more people joining, the more fun it seems like it's getting.
Yes,
you know?
it does. Yes, it is. It really is. So yeah, I definitely enjoy that. So yeah, that's where we're at with Patreon, everybody.
Cool.
Awesome.
Okay, my dears, as always, it always just meshes right together, right? Because when we're talking about, you know, the red of the ruby, right? And the grounding of that, working with the root chakra, standing firm in who you are, right?
Yeah.
It's very easy then to flow into, well, who you are is love. Okay. And if you are love, right? Perfect love casts out fear.
Yes.
So then we can be fearless love, right? So, you know, and that's what we're talking about today, bringing fearless love into 2023. Okay. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about go out there and hug everybody, including people who don't like to be hugged. And don't worry, you know, it's fine if you cross their boundaries. No, it's not. Okay.
No.
Don't go randomly hugging people that don't, you know, seem open to it. But what we are talking about is knowing that being that you are a being of love and light, right? That you don't really have anything to fear in being fully self-expressed of that. All right. You know, feeling free to geek out over stupid shit, you know? Whether for us it's crystals and oils and herbs and rocks, you know. For other people it's Star Wars, and for other people it's Star Trek or some, you know, strange combination of the two, right?
Harry Potter.
Where the universes collide, you know. But being in a space where you can, you know, Damaris and I were talking before Krista was able to get her sound worked out about oh god, it just flew out of my head. What was it that we were talking?
We're talking about the witch's book.
Well, there was that, but after that, assertiveness and aggression.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right. I'm not asking you to go out there and be aggressively loving. That's imagine I'm going to be aggressively loving. Damn it! Oh my gosh, that's funny. But definitely go out there and become assertively loving. Like, I am love. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, and I had experiences of this over the holidays where, you know, it was my mother. Okay, let me back up for a second. Back in high school, I went to a high school in the inner city of Detroit. And as you might imagine, I was the flip side of what a lot of Black kids in the suburbs experience, where they may be the only brown one in the class.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was in high school. I was pretty much one of the very few sprinkle of snowflakes in the room. And there was this white teacher that had been a teacher for eons. Okay. And she was just up to here with it in the Detroit public school system. She'd had enough. And the smarter and cuter that you were, the more she hated it, because she was going to watch you lose your love for learning and, you know, all of these things that you'd seen over the years, or you know, get knocked up and drop out of school. Yeah. And it was just like a painful over and over again repetition for her, you know. And I can't imagine it was very rewarding. But my mother, so this woman was absolutely horrible to me. And my mother was always the one that would say, kill her with kindness, kill her with kindness. Never fail to be polite. Always do your best. Always speak with respect to her. She's earned it. And of course, at 14 years old, I'm like, no, this bitch don't like me, you know? Yeah. And it was difficult, right? But I learned so much. And a lot of I'll bet you that was freaking Mars retrograde at the time, because it was all about learning how to repurpose my aggression into something that could build instead of something that destroys. Yeah, right?
That's great.
And by the end of the school year, you know, we had gotten to a different place entirely, where she respected my repeated attempts to just be who I am, love her regardless of how she, you know, was protecting herself. Yeah. You know, and go from there. Well, I had an experience of that as well over this holiday season, where shit just coming at me, and I was just loving back, even to the point where I was like battling with myself. Should I do this? Why am I doing this? Why don't I just, you know, like meet them in the parking lot and have done with it, you know? But I did. I kept going on the love path. That relationship shifted, you know? So sometimes, yeah, you do have to be aggressively loving, you know? It's a rare occurrence, but it makes the difference. In the meantime, though, going forward in 2023, God, I can't believe we're even saying that number.
I know.
Right? Be assertively loving. Be who you are, right? Be grounded in that ruby strength, right? Of light yet rock, okay? And be grounded in that love, all right? Now, there's another aspect that Krista was talking about with the ruby, that there's so many areas of life that it can touch and that it can heal and that it can help.
I don't know what happened.
Like a protection stone, like we were talking about, okay? Now, here's the thing. We tend to look at wealth and think money.
Yes.
That's not what makes us wealthy, right? With or without money, we can have wealth, right? We can be well, you know, physically. We can have healthy relationships among the people that we love and the people that we're bonded to by blood, right? Those are also wealth, all right? So when you're standing strong and grounded in the fact that you are 100% wholly love, hopefully Krista will come back in a minute.
Yeah.
Then you can have true wealth, right? And you can protect that wealth, you know, and that is a lot of the power of the ruby. Welcome back, Princess.
There she is.
I went for a visit. I don't know what the heck just happened.
It's okay. I'm glad you're back. So yeah, we can have this. The energy of the ruby is all about grounded wealth, love, power, the ability to dig in and get stuff done. Okay, protection, right? It creates a field around you where you are able to be what you need to be in any given moment in order for things to go the way that your intentions are.
Yes.
Good one, Allison.
Talk about grounding. She's always flying somewhere.
Right? Good one, Allison. That was great. So essentially that's my assignment for all of you this week, right? If you don't have a piece of ruby, and ruby is not that hard to come by, it's simply beryl. You don't have to get the lab created in the rings. They're very pretty. They're kind of light as far as I'm concerned. But you can get a good piece of ruby stone, okay? And sometimes it even comes in a matrix of zoisite, which is nice.
That's what I have.
Yeah. And that adds another level to it. But even if you just have a piece of ruby itself, all right, carry that with you. Let it remind you of all of the ways that you are wealthy in spirit, in reality, in money, in friendships, relationships, love, possessions, all of the ways that you are wealthy. All right. Allow yourself to be grounded by that, right? Strengthen that root chakra connection down to the earth star. And go forward knowing that as you progress through this year with the intention to be love in action, all right, this ruby will send that energy outward from you, and people will experience you as love in action without you ever having to say a word or do any task. Your being will be love in action. Okay. And that's what we're hoping for you to experience all this week coming up. Now, let's look a little bit too right now about this week's card of the week. And I love this because I just always love this card when it comes up anyway, but it works beautifully. Okay. So this week's card of the week is the 3 of Cups. We girls be dancing. All right. We girls be dancing. Yeah. And that's the energy that I want you to take into this week, right? We have reason to celebrate. We have our Trinity, not just the 3 of us here on this screen, but every one of you in the Coven of Joy, in our group, right? You all have this sisterhood that you can rely on, that you can look to in time of need or time where, today's just sucks. Can I vent for 3 minutes with you?
Yeah.
None of us would say no. We might say, well, right now I can't, but can we call back later on? We might not be immediately available in the moment, but we're always able to be there for each other in this group, right? That's why we call it the Coven of Joy.
Yeah.
Right? Because it is all of us ladies coming together to blend our gifts, our talents, our skills, and to be there for each other. Because no one human being can ever be everything.
Yeah.
We all are each no thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So party time, right? Those 3 cups completely filled to the brim, sloshing over top. And I want to give you a little bit of insight about what Galaxy Tarot says about it. And this card is all about friendship, celebration, fun, and ritual. So today, I want you to find a couple of friends and I want you to go celebrate. I don't care what you celebrate. Celebrate breathing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big thing to celebrate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Celebrate that the 3 Crones were finally back together.
Yes.
On spot. So to speak. Around the world in one spot.
There you go.
Yes.
Right? Whether the blessings in your life are big or small, when you take time to show your appreciation for them, the joy in your community multiplies and keeps on flowing. And that's the point, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes.
Grounding as love, right? Allowing that to be our beingness that goes out and informs the world around us. Here we come, right? Here, each of us comes individually. There is joy in my presence. There is love in my field, right? And all of that. Now, when this card appears, it's a time to rejoice in your friendships specifically. This card indicates that you have friends who truly care about and support you. Again, the 3 Crones back in one spot, finally. Okay, after 3 weeks. Could be a time that a new relationship will grow into a real friendship. You may be invited to a party that you will definitely enjoy. This card may be advising you to call up that dear friend that you haven't talked to in a while and set up a date for a tea or a night out, right? It could be that this card is indicating some sort of celebratory accomplishment and you deserve to have fun, right? How often do you have a reason to celebrate and then downplay it like, oh, I should have done that years ago. That's no breakthrough. Yeah, it is. Yeah, there you go. Allison, excellent. Dance this mess around. Absolutely.
Oh,
So
great.
With your friends. Go party with your girls. Or if you've got something to celebrate in romance, right? The 3 of Cups indicates mutual attraction and affection. So there's something to party about, you know? Maybe some of you are experiencing the beginnings of a new love affair. You know, maybe some of you, now that Mars has gone direct or will be going direct this Friday, right? And Mercury is in true retrograde, right? Now you're going to feel shift again in your loving relationships that may be boring by now. Enough time may have passed that they're getting a little stale. And that little shift is enough to go, I thought you were sexy then. I think you're sexier now. Who knows? But go out and celebrate, whether it's romance or not, right?
Mhm.
You might even end up engaged or married, right? All totaled, this card is about positive growth from the emotional union of 2 or more people. And what was it that Christ said?
When
2
more
or
than
more
one gather in his name,
there I am.
There I am.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So don't forget to celebrate that woo-woo, right? That woo-woo that goes in between and fills in the gaps and makes everything complete and whole, right? Because that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the woo-woo. We're talking about spirit. We're talking about the way the universe gets things done, right? In the way that's so difficult to put into words. And my granddaughter is about ready to talk to me. Anyways, all right. So that's essentially what I wanted to share with you about those cards this week. So let's take a moment to say congratulations to this week's winner. Here we go. Congratulations to this week's Woo giveaway winner, Lisa.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
For being part of the 3 Crones and the Woo. You can just reach out to any one of us to collect your prize. Now, Lisa, I know that you just recently joined us, so thank you so much for joining us. And I want to explain to you how this works, in case you don't know. So each week, we give away one 30-minute reading from any one of us 3 Crones. If you choose me, it will be an intuitive tarot reading. If you choose Damaris, it will be a numerology reading. And if you choose Krista, it will be a crystal reading. All right. So choose which kind of reading that you would like, and then reach out to the corresponding crone and through Facebook Messenger, and we'll get you on the schedule immediately, or as soon as it's convenient for you. So then all we ask in return for that is to take a few moments and put your feedback in a post in the group so that everyone else knows how valuable that was to you and what you got out of it. And then for anyone else who has not won or would just like to receive a reading, all of us provide these particular readings on a cash basis at any time. So if you would like to know a little bit more about what's coming down the pike for you in 2023, whether it's love, whether it's business, whether it's money, whether it's your work, whether it's your family and relationships, each one of these readings can speak to that from its own direction. And yet, and we've proved this time and time again, they are saying essentially the same thing. So it really doesn't matter which one of us, you're going to get your answers from spirit through whichever medium that you choose, right? And if you choose all of us, you'll see the common thread that runs through each and every aspect that we provide for you. That is the true messages coming from spirit.
Yep.
Right.
And here's the really cool thing is that we don't communicate the readings that we do with other people, with one another, because of course that's a personal thing. But I find, I don't know about you ladies, but I always find it interesting. You know, Gayle said something really similar to that, or wow, Damaris said the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll get it. You know, with the three of us, whoever, because I've had different people come to me who've definitely gone to one of you two, and it's in alignment, because that's where their mindset is. That's where, you know, that person's heart is as well. So yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So fabulous stuff. Any other things that you ladies want to add before we send everybody off to have a wonderful week?
I just want to say that for everybody to remember that whatever we're expressing to the universe, the law of attraction will bring it back. So be careful what you're expressing.
Yes. Yeah. And that is a good reminder. And your expression isn't just what comes out vocally. It's your thoughts and your vibrational energy.
100%.
So I want to remind everybody, vibrate responsibly.
I can't wait till those are on stickers. That's perfect.
Yes.
That's perfect. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much for being part of the show. Once again, thank you for being here, whether you're watching live or on the replay. We love you. We appreciate you. And we want you to have the most amazing life possible. Take care. Bye, y'all.
Bye.